Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I hope you are having a fantastic day so far. I hope today's been treating you well. In today's video, as you can see from the title down below, I'm going to be getting into the new eyeshadow palette from MUA. I also have a new mascara, the Brown Volume High Impact Magnifying Mascara. Going to be getting into that too, but I am so excited to try this eyeshadow palette out. So this is the Firestorm eyeshadow collection. This is one of their 15 shade palettes. I don't think I have actually tried a 15 shade palette from MUA. I have all of their little £5 ones and I love them. The formula is so good considering the price. These are such high quality eyeshadows in my opinion. I really love them. So we're going to be getting into swatches and creating some sort of an eye look with these today. Obviously this is a very warm, very toasty, very burnt orange eyeshadow palette, which I just love. I love these shades on blue eyes because it's like opposite on the colour wheel. It'll really bring out the blue, but I feel like even on brown eyes, on green eyes, this colour story will suit so many people. So I'm just gonna dive straight on into the swatches because I'm so excited to try this out. And like I say, MUA formula, their eyeshadow formula is fantastic, so I've got high hopes. Okay, so this is what all of the shades look like. So this is the top row, the middle row and the bottom row. So I definitely feel like we've got more like lighter tones, more sort of ballet slipper, more nude tones. Then we're getting slightly warmer, and also some of these are slightly pinky. Like there's definitely some pink undertones in some of these shades, as well as like the obvious orange. And then this last row, this bright orange is definitely speaking to me. So the mattes are so pigmented. The shimmers are like so reflective. Like if you look at these ones, I'll be able to move my hand a little bit more to show the reflection, but they're not like chunky glittery sort of shimmers. They really are smooth and like a foil. They're so smooth and reflective rather than being like chunky glittery. They're so just smooth and like buttery feeling. They're absolutely beautiful and, like I say, so reflective. So I, as always, don't know what I'm going to do today, but I will zoom you in and we can create some sort of a orangey, pinky, warm eye look. How about that? So also in the little bundle that I got on the MUA website, it was also available on TikTok shop if you're wanting to shop through there. But there was a bundle that came with the eyeshadow palette, the mascara. It came with an eyeliner pencil, which is in the shade Icon, which I haven't gotten into yet, but I'm sure I will at some point. It also came with a liquid liner. I'm losing everything on my table. The Intense Colour liquid eyeliner, and this is in the shade Russet, which round the middle here looks like it would be a sort of warm coppery browny shade, but it's actually like a really dark brown, basically would just come off black on your eyes, which is fine. I was expecting maybe more of a coppery sort of lighter, warmer, more golden brown, just from like that little bit on the packaging. I was expecting something a little bit more brown rather than something that comes off straight black. And it also came with 2 eyeshadow brushes. I will use these today. I don't think I've ever used eyeshadow brushes from MUA. I'm fairly certain I've never had any before, so excited to get into these. We've got the large fluffy blending brush, which doesn't actually look that large. Like that looks like a really usable sort of a size. And the flat eye base brush, which looks like that. So it still looks, even though it's a flat brush, it still looks quite fluffy. So let me get into these. I will use these today. So that's what those two are looking like. That large fluffy blending brush, whatever they called it, this one looks like a really decent size. Like sometimes you can get large fluffy brushes that are just like the size of your eyeball and they're just not usable. I really like the size of that one and the shape of it as well. I feel like that will like fit into my crease nicely. Speaking of creasing, I've got an eye primer on already and I've had it on for a while, so that has creased like crazy. But let's just start. Obviously it's going to be a warm orangey sort of a look, but let's just start. I'm going to use that first fluffy blending brush and I'll dip into this shade. They are all named, but it's like trying to figure out what it is. This one is called Top Row Left to Right Match. This shade is called Match. So I'm not going to tell you the names of all of them because I'll just be here all day. And obviously there isn't any sort of mirror, so I will just be using a separate little mirror. But let's see how this works in the crease. So that tiny little bit that I got on my brush then and tapped my brush off has just done my whole crease. And like, it's so pigmented, but they blend so easily, and I love the undertone of that. That's really nice, and like it's not too warm. Considering we're going to go quite warm with all of these shades today, I feel like that looks really nice. So that's blended out really nicely with that brush as well. I feel like that brush, like I say, is just the perfect size for me for like getting into the crease, but also like being able to just blend out the edges of that really easily. So I'm gonna stick with the same brush and I'm like, do I go straight into that bright orange? Definitely want to use that bright orange. I might go in with a brown first, like a darker brown. I'll go in with this one in the middle row, just right on the very end of that brush. And again, tap it off and I'll keep that further out. So again, that's blending in really nicely, adding a little bit of depth. I'm just going to go in with a little bit more, like right on the lid, adding some depth, adding some like smokiness, but also just blending in with that first shade seamlessly. Like, we all know I am the least effort kind of gal, and this really is just doing it all by itself. I really love this formula. Like, I feel quite strongly about this formula, so I'm just going to wipe off that brush on my pajama bottoms and I'm going to go in with that orange, that bright orange, because we all know, oh, we're shedding a little bit here, we all know I love an orange. It just looks so good on blue eyes. So look how pigmented that is, and that was just like a dip. Tap that off and I'm gonna tap this basically over the edges of like everything that we've just done there. Look how pigmented that is. I think I'll probably have enough there to do both eyes. I do feel like orange is one of those shades that like can be bright. Like, obviously this is quite bright, but it's also like really wearable. Like, I don't feel like orange is as intimidating as, I don't know, some other colours can feel quite a lot. I feel like orange is just a beautiful option for an everyday glam. Oh, this is going to be a little bit more than an everyday glam, but you get my idea. So I feel like that has just brightened all of that up really nicely. Like, it's added that little pop of brightness. And I did go back over with that darkest brown, like right on the outer corner, to keep it quite deep and quite dark out on the outer corner, but that bright orange is just beautiful. Like, my eyes look so blue. I am thrilled. So I think I'm just going to tap a shimmer over like the center, like the middle of the lid. I really don't want to like overcomplicate this. I really like how this is looking. So by far the most impressive shimmer is this second one, but I don't know if that might be a little bit dark. I do feel like the shimmers are all quite deep. Like, this is obviously the lightest, the fairest shimmer. Like, when it catches the light, it goes the brightest. However, it is more of a topper sort of feeling. Like, the other ones definitely are more like a foil, but this one feels a little bit thinner. Almost like it hasn't got the same opacity as the others. So I think what I might do is I'll take that flat brush that came in that bundle and I'll go in with this shade, which looks like this, and then I might go in with a little bit of this one, which looks like this. Let's just see how it goes with that one on the top row first. Like I say, I'm going to use a brush just so that I can say that I've tried it. So it is still a little tacky across the eyelid there, so hopefully this will stick quite well. Yes, I like that shade, but it's just quite, I mean, it's not dark. I was about to say it's quite dark. It's not dark, but it is darker than my skin tone, where I like something quite bright. So I will even it up on the other side, and then I'll go in with that other shimmer on the bottom row and layer it up. We can see how these shimmers layer. I did this on purpose. It's for science. So that's how the eyes are looking just with that one shimmer from the top row blended on with a brush. And I think I'm just going to take my finger to try and apply this lighter shimmer. In the pan, this almost feels a little bit like a cream. Like, if I show you, that's like, it's not the most intense shimmer, you know, like it's not crazy, but let's see how this lays down if I like properly press it into the skin on my finger. I mean, it's adding something. It's still quite dark though. Like, that's still darker than what I would usually go for like an inner corner. Like, there's definitely not an inner corner highlight sort of a shade. You know, that like icy pop of something that I like to add on the inner corner. It doesn't have that in the palette. And I will say, I do feel like a lot of these shimmers, like these four shimmers down at this end, this one, this one, this one, and this one, apart from this one being slightly more pink and this one being slightly more brown, like these two are very similar and these two are very similar. So I feel like we could have maybe switched those out and had one that's maybe a little bit lighter. And I appreciate this is like Firestorm. This is like a fire, warm, goldeny sort of a themed palette, but I feel like I really could have benefited from having one or two slightly lighter shimmer options. So I'm just going to go back in with that first fluffy brush, no more product on it, but I'm just going to blend over like the top edge where I was packing that shimmer on. I like how this has turned out. I really love like an orangey sort of an eye look. I'm just going to go back in with a bit more of that orange. I really like an orangey eye look. I just feel like I could really benefit from having a little pop, you know? So that is everything built up. I've darkened it a little bit more on the outer corner and added a little bit more of that orange. I am honestly so happy with how this is looking, with how it's building up and how it's like blending together. I think that this all looks really, really nice. And like we've got a lot of depth on the outer corner. I'm not going to keep on going on about an inner corner shimmer, but you know my feelings on that. So I'm just going to take a little cotton pad. There is quite a bit of fallout, so just cleaning this up. I just feel like it always makes the biggest difference when I get to this stage and I'm like, I can see it coming together now. It's clean, it's not all over my face. So just having a little moment to get rid of all of that fallout. So whilst you are still all zoomed in, I will also try the liquid eyeliner. I have used these before from MUA. They're not my absolute favourite, but I really love the colour options. So whilst you're zoomed in, I will just do the wing. Oh, and I've got that mascara as well. I completely forgot about that. So let's go ahead and do the wing. And you'll see this is like not the brownest of brown. I really like the colour, but it's just not this colour. It's not the colour of like the little line on the outside of the packaging. It does basically just translate as black. Where I was hoping that it would be a slightly warmer orangey brown. So you can see, like, I find it quite difficult to get a small wing, and I also can't get a little point because the applicator is massive. So I do struggle, but these really do last all day. They last incredibly, incredibly well. They come in loads and loads of different colours, which I appreciate. There's a beautiful purple and a green, like so many beautiful colours, and the main thing for me is that they last really, really well. They're just not the easiest to actually apply in the first place. So that's the liquid liner done. Like I say, not my best work because it's not my favourite applicator, but I will just do the mascara as well whilst you're here. So this is the volume mascara, and it's just in brown. We're not reinventing the wheel here, it's just in brown. So let's see. I really love a volumizing, thickening mascara. I'm not really one for like a lengthening sort of fluttery mascara. I want thick dramatic lashes 100% of the time. So let's see how we go with this one. Okay, so I feel like the second layer of that mascara really made that work for me. The first layer was very lengthening, very fluttery, very natural looking, which I appreciate in a brown mascara. Is probably what a lot of people are wanting. I really like how this is looking with two. I appreciate you probably can't see all that much with the liquid liner being as chunky as it is, but I really like how that is looking. So I'm going to go off, I'm going to do the rest of my face, and then we can decide what I'm going to do under the eye. I might even use that crayon pencil eyeliner under the eyes, smoke something out, I don't know. I'll do the rest of my face and then we can decide together. Okay, so this is everything else done. My face is nearly finished. I was about to say finished, but I need something under these eyes, and I opened this up. The pencil comes in a little bundle, and I am very interested because this down at this end looks a little bit metallic-y, which could potentially be right up my street. So let me just give this a little squiggle. It's not completely matte. It's almost like a satiny sort of a finish. I really, really love that colour. That's the sort of colour that I was hoping the liquid eyeliner would be. Let me go ahead and just put the liquid liner next to that pencil eyeliner swatch so that you can see what I mean where I say that this is just basically a black. Like the liquid liner, it's still a little bit wet, like it's still drying down, that's why it looks shiny, but the liquid liner is so dark that it does basically just come off as black, whereas the crayon, the little pencil eyeliner, is definitely more of a warmer brown. I would have liked the liquid liner to be this sort of a colour as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sort of run this along my lower lash line, and then I might just smudge it out with either a pencil or my finger. Let's see how creamy it is, but I really like a very smudgy, smoky lower lash line. So I'm just sort of scribbling this along, not in the waterline, just like along like the lower eyelid, so it's a little bit further out. And yeah, I will take that flat brush and just squiggle this in a little bit, blend it out. It does feel very creamy. It feels as though it's, you know, smoking out a little bit, and I love that colour. I really feel like the under eye finishes that off nicely, like without and with. I love. And of course you could then go over and put some eyeshadow like over the top of this to like set it down. I think I'm just going to leave it as it is. I feel like that looks really nice. Just with that crayon, it's a beautiful undertone. So I'm just tapping that same brush while it's got a little bit of that crayon. I'm just tapping that like over the outer corner so that it all blends in, and then I'll just go in with a little bit more of that mascara on the lower lashes. I don't want too much, but just a little layer of mascara over the bottom lashes, and then we are done. So that is the finished look. As I suspected, I love the formula for this eyeshadow palette. I think that has worked fantastically well. I love these colours. Like, I love all of these warmer undertones at the best of times, but I really feel like this has turned out so beautiful and like smoky and warm. I absolutely love it. The only thing is, I would, if it was me, I would put more of a brighter, it can still be warm, but just something that's like a little bit brighter for an inner corner highlight. I feel like that's the only thing that I'm missing, but other than that, I absolutely love it. And I will say, I think that this is a very sort of inclusive colour story, where I think on deeper skin tones this would look beautiful, as well as obviously on Casper the Ghost over here. I think that this looks so good, but because the colours go deeper and they're obviously so incredibly pigmented and the shimmers go deep as well, I think on deeper skin tones this would be beautiful. So let me know if you've picked up this palette. I would love to know what you think as well, or if you are still thinking about it, I would love to know if you do decide to pick up this eyeshadow palette. I think it's beautiful. Honestly, I think that it's worked fantastically well, and I'm always all about these warmer orangey tones, so I knew that it was going to be hands down a beautiful palette anyway. But let me know what you think. I would love to know your thoughts down below. If there are any other new releases that are affordable and cruelty-free that you want to see reviewed here, I would love to hear about it. I am more than happy to get my hands on more new makeup products to review for you here. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. If you are new here, if you've not seen my face before, then I would love it if you would subscribe down below. I post at least 3 times a week on a Monday, Wednesday and a Friday, but it is always more often than that. I am always posting extra little videos throughout the week on top of those 3 regular uploads, so be sure to subscribe before you leave so that you don't miss out on any new videos here. But until next time, thank you ever so much for watching. Bye!